Okay.
We're being serious.
I predict in the future that all currency will be on Billy's. Billy's.
Alright, you guys ready?
It's like 300.
I'm good.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Underground Pulse, undergroundpulse.net. I am your host, Jerica J, and here with me is Nova, some very, very awesome brothers who have been rocking out since 2012. Kind of from Topeka, kind of from Kansas City, kind of from a little bit of everywhere, but one hell of a huge, mixing Chevelle with more heavy awesomeness, and you just put it in a pot and you come out with these two brilliant men. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you.
Doing good.
Doing good? You are that tired, aren't you? You guys had a busy day. You guys went to the Chiefs game earlier, is that right?
Oh yeah, we watched them beat the Seahawks, which was nice. So waved at some people we knew from the other side, and then his boss was sitting next to me. Well, one of his attractive accountant's boss, semi-drunk, was sitting next to me, and so we had some fun during the game today.
Nice.
So,
Attractive? Should they be worried, like Bow Chicka Wow Wow style, or?
I don't know, mostly it was like shoulder bumping and hey going on, but no.
How do you feel about that?
I'm impartial.
Right on. Now, you guys actually have probably one of the most interesting situations that I've ever had the honor of interviewing. You guys are kind of either, I don't know, Zach, you're moving to New Zealand, right? Now, I guess first, why are you moving to New Zealand?
I'm moving over there because about a year and a half ago, Ben's over there being a douche, but about a year and a half ago, I met a girl, and she was reason enough for me to move halfway across the world, so.
She a transfer student, or what was it? Go tell us the whole, gushy mushy part.
It's not gushy mushy. Little image sharing site named Imgur, the little redheaded stepchild of Reddit,
Yeah, we met online, and then I went out and
on a little thing called Redhead Monday.
I'm gonna be a little bit more polite about it, but we met online, and then I flew out there about this time last year to actually meet her. I was out there for 3 weeks, and then she flew out here in April of this year, and so since then we've just decided that I'm gonna try moving out there.
Obviously, you like New Zealand, right? And I mean, why not have her just move to the USA?
Mostly for family. She's got a far bigger and more intact family than I do here, so I wouldn't dare strip her away from that.
What does she think about you being a musician?
She likes it.
Is it just the, oh, my boyfriend's a rock star kind of thing, or does she actually dig your music, or?
She definitely digs it. I think the one thing she likes the most is she's constantly asking me to sing to her.
Aww.
She can't get enough of listening to the CD, and so she'll be on Skype. She'll be like, "Sing me a song, Zach." Just put my hands on my face and tell her to go listen to the CD or something, because it sounds way better. But
Well, you Casanova, you. Now, you guys recently put out a CD for distribution online and things like that called Prove to You, which you guys are doing the physical CD release party the next month, December the 5th, in Topeka. What was the recording process for that like for you guys? Because I know that you guys have played shows for quite a while, and this album seemed to take a minute. So what was going on?
I think really, Zach, this is something Zach and I wanted to do since we were little. And growing up, you have your protagonists and antagonists. People who say do it, people who say you can't. And for us, we got into it because we wanted to, and then we really started recording because we wanted to prove to people that we could. And then so we don't have a lot of finances, so we just kind of scrounged together what we could and started recording in our basement and did it at our own pace, did it at our own time. And so everything you hear on the album was recorded in our basement. It was done by us. The only thing we didn't do in our basement was the vocals, and we did those in Ben's bedroom. and then he mastered the whole thing for us. But so I mean, it did take a bit. I think all in all, we spent a year from start to finish, from laying down the first rough guitar track to getting the final prints in. It did take a while, but we did it all on our own.
I'm fairly proud.
Very nice. Now, you guys are both multi-talented. Jared, you do guitar and vocals.
Bass and drums.
And, I'm sorry, bass and drums and vocals. And Zach, you do guitar and vocals. This is my issue with you two guys. So did you guys write all of the parts? Did you write all the drums, all the bass and everything? Or did you have friends come in and maybe jam with you guys to play it at all?
For the most part, most of it was created between the two of us. In a few places on a couple of the songs, there's been made notes here and there. There were people that stepped in and maybe had an inspirational lick, or especially in one of the songs, Served Up with Beauty. Ben helped us out a lot with that one. I just occasionally a couple of our friends would step in and just be jamming with us or something. Whoever was filling in for our third position at the time to play shows, they would put their own spin on something, and maybe or maybe not we'd go with it. It turned out pretty good.
Nice. Now, being brothers and more so twins, has your guys' family dynamic ever gotten in between of your musical tastes?
No, not so much. I mean, really, our family, the dynamic between the two of us is what generates the sound that we have. He gets much more into a technical metal aspect. He's the metalhead of the two, and you'll find him listening to that. Me, if I'm not writing and recording and playing music or rocking out in the car, you'll find me. I've got electro swing is a big thing I'm into right now, and so I'm more into the melodies, and so like in Gavels, I had him push his vocals to the guitar, and we went for a prettier note to it, and it turned out really, really, really well. And then in Served Up with Beauty, again, when that turned into our project song. Zach was like, I want a metal song on this one. I want a heavy edge to it, and so we went with that. And I mean, it makes writing interesting because we battle between the two of us to get the sound that we want. But I think that the family dynamic, the fact that we're brothers, I mean, I've played in another band on another stage without him, and it's completely different. I don't enjoy it near as much, but I think that dynamic that you ask about is definitely more advantageous than anything. It doesn't really hinder.
I gotta ask, because you're twins, do you guys think alike? Like, you have that kinetic thing you got, and I don't know, kinesis, that cycle, yeah, whatever it is.
It doesn't actually exist, but we could damn near prove otherwise. If you hung out with us enough.
Very nice. Now, with it just technically being you two in the band, how does that affect your guys' live shows?
That makes it really difficult. I think you made mention earlier, we've played shows here and there, and I mean, it really has been hit and miss with live shows for us because we haven't been able to pin down a permanent third member. I mean, initially it was Zach on guitar and vocals. He's always been there, but I was on drums because we had a guy who played bass for us, and we did that for a while, and then we went to somebody new, and I moved over to bass, and it's just, we've kind of bounced around. And so that's really played a big part in our live shows. We've had, like right now, I think we have our most solid lineup. Definitely, these practices with Ben have been on spot and phenomenal. I mean, really, the stuff he does for us is fantastic. And so, if we had the chance to write and play more music with him, I'd absolutely love to. But I think the biggest problem we've run into is it's just the two of us, for all intents and purposes.
What has gone wrong with past members that have made you guys unhappy? Like, what are you looking for that you haven't necessarily found in those guys?
Typically speaking, someone who can legitimately hold themselves behind the instrument that they're playing, whether or not it be drums or bass. Our first bassist, I'm not going to point out any names or put anybody to shame in particular, but our first bassist was actually a guitarist, and he was using our rig, and he performed well, but it was made obvious that he wasn't exactly comfortable where he was, so we tried to pick somebody else up that was comfortable behind their instrument, somebody who actually was a drummer, but then he just didn't quite click with us. He worked better with a slightly different sound, because what we do go for is a little bit different than most rock bands in the area.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's been our biggest struggle.
Right on. Now, again, with you moving to New Zealand, I guess the biggest question on everybody's mind is the band over after the release party, or what are you guys going to do?
Well, I know even big bands out there still do the same. They've got members that are scattered across the country, and they just come together when they tour. We full well plan to keep writing and recording. We have our next album. We have one song written. We have the name picked out. It's going to be SUNZ, S-U-N-Z. It's the initials for the United States and New Zealand. It's a little mixed up there, but that's because it's going to be written and recorded in both places, and then I plan to go over to New Zealand when it's all said and done for a stint and record it over there, and then play a few shows. And so I think you'll still see us putting out music. You'll still see us doing things, but it's going to move to a largely online project as opposed to the standard you go out and play a lot of shows sort of thing.
Now, Zach, you'd mentioned that you'd been to New Zealand. Have you had a second to observe the music culture there, or I guess when you go and visit him, Jared, are you guys going to try to tour New Zealand a little bit and play some live shows over there?
It is an island country, and there aren't a lot of big cities there, so it's much harder to do that on a scale that you would be able to do that here in America. So I think what would happen is when we get over there is a lively music scene over there, and it's very diverse. It's something to be impressed by, for what I've seen of it at least. So I think what's going to happen over there when we get there, we'll just play what shows we can, wherever we can get them, and just get ourselves out there that way.
So here's what you do, right? You play a show at Christchurch, and then you go up north and you play a show in Auckland, and then everybody on both islands that's within 6 miles, which is pretty much the entire of the islands, can come see your show. Bam, you toured New Zealand.
I like the way he thinks. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so very nice. So you guys are basically going to be kind of relying on maybe like Skype writing sessions, things like that. Maybe going further, do handwriting kind of things. All that good stuff. All right. Well, let's talk about the CD release show. Now, this is happening December 5th at the Booby Trap in Topeka, which is where you guys are natively from, mostly. Why don't you tell us about the acts that you chose to celebrate with you and a couple of the details?
Well, frankly, the opener is Sean Thibodeau, and really I kind of want to, when I was out looking for the openers, the people that are really going to be involved with the show, I went for the people who were the most critical in our development, Sean Thibodeau being one of them. And he was the one who really handed us our first real show as Nova, our first show as Nova. And so he had never heard of us, and he asked us out to play, and so we came and played, and he was impressed, and so we're turning around and giving him the favor back. Basically, he gave us the chance to come to play with him, and so for our big moment, I wanted to turn around and ask him to come to open up for us, because I know he's a very good musician, and I personally would love to play with him again. As far as Perfect Pursuit goes, the other band that's playing with us, the main support, that was the Z-Day show that you had, and I had never heard of them before, I had never seen them before, but I thought they were fantastic. And for both Zach and myself, we're big sticklers about just genuinely good music, people who can hold the stage and have good music at the same time, not either or. And so I watched them, and I was up at the front of the stage for their entire set, and I thought, if we get them on a set with 3 or 4 bands, that would be a fantastic show. And so I asked them, and they were more than willing to come out and play. And so, that's how we wound up with those two. I know we're still kind of looking at maybe getting a 4th band in for the lineup, but it's a late night already,
Right.
as it's going to be at the Trap. And I think with those two with us, it's going to be a really solid show, and I think that's why we picked those two.
Very nice. Now, this is an all ages show, which is very nice. It's also a very cheap show. It's a $5 rock show. So I gotta ask your guys' opinion on those like ticket sales versus door prices. Like, why did you make your show so cheap versus making everybody pay 10 or more?
Well, actually, that's the standard door price for the Booby Trap is $5. It's a cheap venue. It's the only actual venue in Topeka.
One of two.
One of two. There's the
There's J&J. There's J&J's in the art district in Noto, and they're pretty decent place. More room to play. It's a little bit harder to find.
yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, the Booby Trap has a bit more of a rep to it, and we've played there before, and we know the guy who runs it, and he likes us, so we decided to go back there. You were asking about like ticket sales versus door price, like our preference on it.
How do you feel about it?
I have tried so hard to abstain from doing ticket sales since day one, because especially starting out, that's such a pain to do. Like when you live in Topeka and you play in Kansas City, that's another big hindrance to us starting out. And so I always like the ones. I mean, we've always paid to play. We don't come into any show expecting any kind of profit. I think I played with Ben and I got $20 from a show, and that was my cut. And I was like, "What? I'm rich!" And I put it in my tank and I went home. So I mean, for us, it's a cheap show. It's $5 at the door. I don't even expect a cut out of it. And frankly, that's what I prefer. That's what I like, because then everybody's just in it for a good time.
Very nice. Now, as final thoughts, we've played Proof to You, a couple songs from it on the show before. I've loved every one I've heard. Billy makes me play them all the fucking time. So, it's absolutely amazing. I do think, honestly, that you guys kind of have a leg up on everybody else with you being in New Zealand. Although it might be an island country, it's kind of like being a band in a small city. You start winning over those people if you do play live shows over there, which I really hope you take advantage of that. You get amazing, dedicated followers, and then you can branch out from there, and people get way bigger over there on that side of the pond than they do over here. So I think you guys should look at that as a huge advantage, and definitely take the opportunity while you have it. So, which I'm sure you'll have it for a long time. At least I hope you do. So I'm sure she's a lucky lady. But guys, I can't stress enough for you guys to head out to the Booby Trap on December 5th. Show starts at 8 p.m., which in Booby Trap time, that can mean which way. It just depends on where you're going. Perfect Pursuit is an amazing band, also from the Topeka area. So,
Lawrence.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry, Lawrence. And then you guys are just absolutely going to kill it, and Tiptoes does his thing all the freaking time. Any final thoughts for the fans? Any goodbyes to Kansas City?
As far as goodbyes go, not particularly. I mean, I'm going to be here for a bit longer. I think I might start up another project. It depends. I'm still putting that out there. I'm looking for other people to join with.
Hint.
Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge. No, but I think really, we have free EPs. We give out EPs with Crazy Straws to people at the front of the stage, and that links into something that's actually in the album.
With Crazy Straws.
With Crazy Straws, yeah, you'd actually be surprised. It's in there, and like you can tell. No, I think really pick up the album, give it a listen, because I think it's worth your time. I think it's worth everybody's time. We're really, really proud of it, and I think we can only go upwards and forwards with our music from this point, and so just give it a listen. Tell us what you think, be it negative, be it positive. I mean, that's the one thing we look for more than anything.
What about you, Zach? You're the one leaving. You gotta have something to say.
I'm not going to miss Kansas. I'm excited for the opportunity to just go somewhere else and try something else. Because I've grown up listening to my peers and my elders, and how many people have I heard who said, if I could go back, and I had that chance, I would take it instead of taking the safe route or whatever. They wish they'd taken that chance when they were younger, because now they can't do it. So, I'm trying to do that, and as of yet, I don't have any regrets. I don't believe I will in the future. So, and one thing about our albums, I just want to mention this before we head out. But instead of doing a standard, this is the set price for our album, in an attempt to get them into more people's hands, so that more people can listen to them, we're doing a donation basis.
Just kind of taking what we can get.
Is that through your Bandcamp by chance? Or are you doing that physically as well?
On the Bandcamp, it starts as 10. It starts at 10, just because I have to physically pay for the shipping to get it places. But I mean, you can donate, or you can pay for more. There's not a roof cap. I've had people pay $20 for one CD. I've had people pay $40 for a T-shirt. And I mean, the thing about our merch right now is it's all custom order. So I mean, it's a little bit pricier than I would like it to, but you can get it in any way, in any color you want. Which is really fun. You can have it say anything you want to, because we go to Acme and Lawrence to get it made. And as far as the CDs go, one other thing, I mean, Zach mentioned it once before, or touched on it lightly, just here. He said about all his elders and whatnot in the past, saying, I wish I could go back. I mean, that's the entire reason we did this. That we went ahead with the full jewel case, with the full album, with the professional artwork. For me personally, I want